Hello and welcome to South Asia Focus. I am Mugdha Kapoor. In yet another major decision, the War Crimes Tribunal commuted to life imprisonment a death sentence handed to top Islamist leader Delwar Hossain Saidi, who was convicted for war crimes committed during Bangladesh's War of Liberation in 1971. The ruling triggered off strikes by the Islamist Jamaat-e-Islami party, which asked for his acquittal, while the civil society groups demanded his death instead.
73-year-old Delwar Hossain Saidi, vice president of the Jamaat-e-Islami party, was found guilty on charges of mass killing, rape, arson, looting and forcing minority Hindus to convert to Islam during the 1971 Independence War. Public prosecutor Shahjahan Kabir said Saidi would have to remain in prison till he breathes his last.
Jamaat-e-Islami Naib Amir Allama Delwar Hossain Saidi ke ওয়ার ক্রাইমস ট্রাইব্যুনাল তাকে মৃত্যুদণ্ড দিয়েছিল। আজকে বাংলাদেশ সুপ্রিম কোর্টের অ্যাপিলেট ডিভিশন চূড়ান্ত রায়ে মৃত্যুদণ্ডকে কনভার্ট করে যাবজ্জীবন কারাদণ্ডে দণ্ডিত করেছেন।
Ahead of the decision, the Bangladesh government had increased police patrolling around the Supreme Court building in Dhaka and even deployed paramilitary troops in Saidi's hometown of Zianagar. The Jamaat-e-Islami and its ally, the opposition Bangladesh Nationalist Party or BNP, angered by the court decision, fell back on the only method it knew of hartals. But it was heartening to see people not falling for the Jamaat's antics this time around. Jamaat activists were nowhere to be seen in Dhaka during the first 2 hours of the strike that began at 6 a.m. At around 6:30 a.m., activists of the Islami Chhatra Shibir, the youth wing of the Jamaat, tried to take out a demonstration, but the police stopped them. 2 activists were arrested in Dhaka's Shevrapara area. Public transport and trains plied normally during the duration of the strike, but intercity bus services were suspended. Police deployment all across the city was very tight and effective across the city. Meanwhile, the ruling Awami League and its allies also brought out processions in different parts of Dhaka to defy the Jamaat-sponsored strike. Senior leader of the Awami League, Kamal Chaudhry, described the strike as a conspiracy of the opposition BNP and the Jamaat-e-Islami to destabilize the progress which Bangladesh has undertaken under Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina.
বাংলাদেশ অর্থনৈতিক উন্নয়নে এগিয়ে যাচ্ছে তীব্র গতিতে, তাকে বাধাগ্রস্ত করার জন্য এই 20 দলীয় তথাকথিত রাজাকার আল-বদর আল-শামস এবং তার দোসররা এবং নামে মাত্র 20 দল খালেদা জিয়ার নির্দেশ আজকে এই হরতাল আজকে জনগণের শত্রু। আজকে বাংলার মানুষকে প্রত্যাখ্যান করেছে। আমি যখন আসি আজকে যানজটের জন্য আমার দেরি হয়ে গেছে আরো 15-20 মিনিট।
British lawyer Toby Cadman, who is defending the Jamaat-e-Islami leadership in court, has asked the Bangladesh government to go in for a review of Delwar Hossain Saidi's conviction in an internationally appointed, independent and impartial tribunal. Cadman also said that the verdict had no basis in Bangladeshi law and that the Jamaat leader was being denied a fair ruling in a politically motivated trial. He further claimed the war crimes trials had failed to meet even a basic standard of fairness. Saidi's son Masood Saidi, after the verdict, had said the family would appeal against the sentence, even though Attorney General Mehboob Alam had clearly ruled out any possibility of a review.
It is not only the Jamaat-e-Islami which does not agree with the verdict against Saidi, civil society activists also oppose this. They want him hanged for his war crimes.
Gunajagran Manch activists reached the famed Shahbag crossing in Dhaka soon after the verdict against Saidi. An activist of Gunajagran Manch, Pradeep, said they are protesting against the verdict and wanted nothing short of a death penalty for Saidi.
ক্রাইম ট্রাইব্যুনাল থেকে দেলাওয়ার হোসেন সাইদির যে ফাঁসির রায়টি ছিল, আজকে সেই রায়ের মধ্য দিয়ে আজকে সেই রায়টি যখন তার যাবজ্জীবন কারাদণ্ড দিচ্ছে, এই দেলাওয়ার হোসেন সাইদির ফাঁসির রায়ের পরিবর্তে যাবজ্জীবন কারাদণ্ডের রায় আমরা দেশবাসী এই রায়টি প্রত্যাখ্যান করছি।
Gunojagran Manch spokesman Imran H. Sarkar even alleged that the government was trying to re-establish Jamaat-e-Islami in the country and that it had become clear through the Supreme Court verdict which commuted war criminal Saeedi's death sentence to life imprisonment. An allegation which of course seems too far-fetched and wild. Jamaat supporters had let loose massive violence in February last year when the War Crimes Tribunal had pronounced the death sentence on Saeedi. In the days after that verdict, 70 people, including policemen, lost their lives in the violence. At least 200 others were injured and attacks were carried out on the minority Hindu community.
In 1971, there was a genocide in Bangladesh, and the genocide was carried out by the Pakistani army, the Pakistani state, and the collaborators in Bangladesh. We have started the trial of the collaborators of Bangladesh, but we have, because Pakistani army is under Pakistan, so it has not been taken to the international tribunal yet, internationally, about the trial of the Pakistani soldiers and the army who were responsible for the genocide in 1971. I think it is time that we should take this up. I think it is time that people should be brought to justice. I think it is time that there should be a closure to this culture of impunity, that you can create the kind of the level and the vast amount of people who were so severely affected by the genocide. So this is something that I think our governments should start thinking about and taking actions for. There are mechanisms, and I'm not a lawyer, so it's up to the lawyers and especially those who are well versed in international crimes and how this could be done. But there is the International Court of Justice, where we have seen that a lot of cases have been brought up in many different states, like in Bosnia, in Rwanda, in many other countries. So it is, one has to follow certain steps and legalities, and as per prescribed norms and procedures that are internationally accepted, especially when it's a third country that is involved. I think it is time that we start moving towards that. Our governments should start moving towards that. They would definitely have the support of the majority of the people of this country. That I'm quite sure of.
Bangladeshis have still not had closure to the wounds of 1971. Pakistani troops in 1971 attempted to crush a nationalist revolution in the then East Pakistan that was triggered by the jailing of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman.
And I think that is very, the tribunal and the way the proceedings are going on. And I think that is natural, because there is always different viewpoints and perceptions about not just the War Crimes Tribunal, but even our general legal system and our general legal courts. We ourselves have found that whether it is the district court, or whether it is the judge court, or whether it is the high court, and whether it is the Supreme Court, there are always some people who feel that this was not followed to the point and to the rule. Of course, there are vested interests also from the Pakistani side and those who supported the Pakistanis, who are trying to see, and especially the United States had a big role in supporting the Pakistan military in 1971, and maybe they do not want a lot of the information to come out. So for whatever reason, people are observing, like they observe all the international war tribunals, whether it's Cambodia, whether it's any place.
The war ended 9 months later with the creation of Bangladesh after Indian forces helped defeat Pakistan's army. But in the process, about 3 million people died and about 200,000 women were raped.
The war crimes issue just refuses to die down. Such was the massive scale of the genocide and the subsequent judicial delay that there is still a long way to go in ensuring total justice for the victims. PM Sheikh Hasina's consistent and tough stand, though still instills hope among the masses. More on that in the coming episodes. Thank you for watching South Asia Focus.